Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bricks and Bleachers podcast. All things Chicago Cubs in under 10 minutes. Cubs have picked up 2 consecutive series wins. The starting rotation is starting to show signs of life. Good and bad news on the injury front, and so much more just ahead. Cubs enter play on Tuesday with a 3-game winning streak, team's longest winning streak of the season. Winners of 5 of their last 7. Cubs are 14-20 in 4th place in the National League Central. They kicked off their 3rd series with Pittsburgh last night, a 9-0 win at Wrigley Field, 8 runs in the first inning. Wilson Contreras with a double and a grand slam, both in the first inning. That home run, the 100th home run of his career. Wade Miley making his first Cubs appearance at home. He was spectacular. 7 innings, just 1 hit, give it up. He looked amazing, and he works really fast, too. For all of the talk the last couple of years about baseball's pace of play being too slow, Wade Miley is a refreshing break from normal. Last night's game flew by. Despite all of the Cubs' runs, it was a 2-hour, 29-minute contest. Ian Happ with a nice game last night, getting on base 4 times. And then on the flip side, Patrick Wisdom continues to struggle. 0 for 4 last night, batting average under 200 over his last 3 weeks, but he leads the team with 6 home runs. Cubs are coming off a successful West Coast road trip last week, took 2 of 3 from the Padres, and then they did the same thing against the Diamondbacks at Arizona. Series in San Diego brought the Cubs' debut of Wade Miley. Coming off the injured list, he struggled to get through 3 innings on Tuesday, but he fills a much-needed void in the Cubs' rotation, which has been struggling at times this year. And as mentioned, the Cubs have now won 3 in a row. A lot of that can be attributed to the starting rotation putting together 3 nice outings in a row. Kyle Hendricks pitched into the 6th inning on Saturday. Justin Steele racked up 10 strikeouts in 6 innings on Sunday. And then Miley with a 7-inning outing last night. Andrelton Simmons also made his Cubs debut after starting the year with a shoulder injury. He came on as a late-inning defensive replacement on Sunday. He got to start at shortstop last night, went 1 for 4 at the plate. Simmons is excellent defensively. This is why they signed him in the offseason. Cubs would take just about anyone, though, at this point, to be put in the infield. Nico Hoerner retroactively placed on the injured list over the weekend after colliding with an umpire middle of last week. Hoerner, among the league leaders in several statistical defensive categories. Other side of the infield, Nick Madrigal is also injured. He's got a back strain. He's been struggling offensively this year. Hoerner can move over and play second when healthy, if needed. Marcus Stroman and David Robertson both are out indefinitely on the COVID injury list. Stroman last pitched on May 1st. He may need a rehab start in the minors before rejoining the club. Robertson leading the team with 5 saves. He's been lights out from the bullpen. And Rowan Wick has been nice in the occasional closer role. He's got 4 saves so far, including 1 Sunday at Arizona. Cubs are 14-20 entering Tuesday's action. One of the worst records in the majors, but not as bad as it was about a week and a half ago, when I think at that point they had either the 3rd or 4th worst record in all of baseball. Not as bad now. Still 4th place in the National League Central, 8 games back of Milwaukee. Brewers are 23-13, best record in the National League. Staying in the Central, St. Louis, 3 games back of Milwaukee at 19-15. Pirates 15-20, half game ahead of the Cubs. And then you've got the Cincinnati Reds at 19-26. That is just an atrocious start to the year. Yet the Reds are the hottest team in the division, having won 6 of their last 10. But you know the team is really struggling. Talking about the Reds, you know they are having a bad year when they give up no hits and still lose. That happened with the Reds Sunday against Pittsburgh, a series of walks and then a fielder's choice allowed a run to score the 8th. Pirates with no hits, but they still won 1-0. Just the 6th time in Major League Baseball history that a team throws a no-hitter and loses. Beyond the division, let's look at what's happening across Major League Baseball. This is our This and That segment. Staying on that no-hitter theme, Reed Detmers with a no-hitter last week for the Angels. Went the complete game on just 108 pitches. Angels beat up on the Rays 12-0. Notable not just for the no-hitter, but all 9 batters in the Angels starting lineup recorded a hit and scored That has never happened in a no-hitter. White Sox last Monday took an 8-2 lead into the ninth. The Guardians came back and won 12-9 in 11 innings. It was the second time in 5 days where a team came back to win after trailing 6 runs or more in the ninth. Mets did it against Philadelphia. Anthony Santander homered twice for the O's last night. They still lost to the Yankees 6-2. Santander has 6 multi-home run games in his career, and the O's have lost all of them. Justin Verlander off to a hot start with the Astros, 5-1 record so far, and he nearly no-hit the Twins earlier this month. He's 39. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. He's got a great season shaping up. What a great story. I hope he keeps it up. I've always been a fan, but there is a part of me that rubs me the wrong way because the Cubs should have landed him a few years ago at the trade deadline and said they went after Jose Quintana. On this day in history, May 17, 1979, Cubs and Phillies at a wild game at Wrigley Field. It was 21-9 in the 5th inning. Phillies had a massive lead, and the Cubs clawed their way back to tie it at 22 in the 8th inning. Phillies put up a go-ahead run in the 9th, and that was it, a 23-22 final. How insane would that have been to see? Can the Cubs sign Wilson Contreras already? I mean, he's off to a great start this year. Career highs in a number of statistical categories, including on-base percentage, contact percentage, hard hit rate. Yeah, he's awesome at the plate. His strikeout rate is a career low. We know he's amazing defensively as well. But it looks like Contreras will be dealt. I think that's a big mistake. I would love to see him stick around. On the flip side, Frank Schwindel really struggling this year. He was a great story after that fire sale last year. Coming in place of Anthony Rizzo, Schwindel lit it up. This year, not so much. He was sent back to Iowa for 1 day last weekend. He didn't even play on that 1 day. And I'm curious how long this experiment is going to go, especially as injured guys are ready to return. I think Schwindel might be the odd man out if things don't turn around quickly. Cubs down the Pirates 9-0 last night. They are 3-4 against the Pirates so far this year, and they've got 2 more games with the Pirates this week. It's been deceiving in these 7 games which Cubs team will show up. One of the games last month, a 21-0 win for the Cubs, then 9-0 last night. But if you look at the other 5 games against the Pirates, Cubs score 3 runs or less. 2 more with the Pirates tonight and tomorrow. First pitch at 7:40 Eastern both nights. Tonight's game on Marquee Sports Network. YouTube TV has tomorrow's game. JT Brubaker and Keegan Thompson, the starters tonight, both pitched in the Cubs-Pirates game April 24. Cubs were able to score a couple of runs off of Brubaker in his 3 innings, while Thompson came in from the bullpen and pitched 4 innings. Mitch Keller and Drew Smyly tomorrow. Cubs have not faced Keller this year. Smyly has 2 starts against the Pirates this year with mixed results. 5 innings each start, scoreless first time out, roughed up a bit the second time. 2 more at home with the Pirates, and then 4 with Arizona to get through the weekend. Looking at next week, the Cubs have 4 in Cincinnati and a pair on the south side of Chicago. Round 2 of the Crosstown Series with the White Sox, and that includes a rare Friday off day, May 27. So the Cubs' bats are coming alive in recent days. The starting rotation seems to be looking better as well, and we still have Stroman and Mills still out of the rotation, looking to rejoin from injury, hopefully soon for both guys. Schedule gets a bit easier for the Cubs heading into the month of June. Plenty of storylines. And before we go, congrats to the Tennessee Smokies. A no-hitter pitched last week. It's the second no-hitter thrown by Cubs minor leaguers this year. How about that? We are out of time for this episode of the Bricks and Bleachers podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy yours. All things Chicago Cubs in under 10 minutes. This is the Bricks and Bleachers podcast.